5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
What's up, ASL fans? We're here for the Week 1 Power Rankings in Season 3 of the ASL. I'm Susie.
I'm the master.
And before we hop into the rankings, I'm going to kind of break down what we ranked off of. We ranked off of the draft of the teams. We ranked off of the coach's ability we've seen from previous seasons. And we ranked off of how they just performed overall after Week 1.
Mostly after week 1.
Yes, but let's hop right into it.
Let's not hop right into it. That's actually not how I ranked my teams. I ranked them by pretty much how they've done this season through their one game and how much I like them. So, sorry.
So my picks are on the left, the Masters are on the right, and we're gonna go by each slot and tell you our analysis of each team and why we put them where we did and what we think they could do in the future weeks.
With a number 14 overall.
Okay, so the 14th slot, I picked Gustavo in the Royal Gardevoir, and the reason he's in the 14th slot is because, first off, he had arguably the worst draft, just a lot of holes overall, and it wasn't really a complete draft, and he made some questionable plays in his battle versus me. He got 4-0'd, and I just didn't like his prep, how he didn't really bring that many counters to Mega Diancie.
That's what I was going to say. Good minds think alike.
So, I think Gustavo can really improve from this first week. I think his prep was really lackluster. It didn't seem like he really counter-teamed me that much. So, I think Gustavo, if he puts some better prep in, he's going to have a lot better showings this season. And hopefully he can get out of that 14th spot next week.
Talking about lackluster, Rocker and the Florida Fillettes were very lackluster in their battle. I keep saying they're not.
Oh my god. Okay, so let's continue.
So yeah, the Florida Floatsills from now on. I like Fillettes better. It has a nice ring to it.
We'll contact Rocker about the change.
Okay. Well, so he got destroyed by Brad. He didn't even try, and his prep was like 5 minutes. I swear to God, it was terrible.
Well, about Rocker, the unfortunate thing was I think it was on a Monday, the day after the draft. Brad was eager to play. Brad put a lot of prep in, and then Rocker, I believe he didn't get to finish his prep. Like, he felt rushed. So he actually didn't get to finish his prep completely, which could have affected him a lot.
Yeah, that sucks.
So I feel kind of bad for Rocker in that sense. But at the same time, if you're not ready, the opponent's not forcing you. You can just tell them I need another day or two.
Yeah, that's why I tell Ian.
So the reason I have Rocker at 13 over Gustavo, despite having maybe a worse showing in his first game, was I like Rocker's draft a lot. He has lots of offensive threats.
I mean, he picked Infernape in the first round. That was questionable.
But I don't think Infernape's that bad of a first-round pick. It's a really good mixed
I actually was going to take it second round.
Exactly. So I liked Rocker's draft quite a bit, and it's I think one of the mid-tier drafts we ended up ranking it. So Rocker could definitely get a lot higher in these rankings if he puts in complete prep and doesn't feel rushed. And, yeah.
Well, I put Gustavo at number 13 because Rocker sucks. That's my reasoning. It's pretty good. So let's, the 14 and 13 spots are very interchangeable, so we couldn't really decide. So we had no reasoning. Well, we had some reasoning to put them above each other, but I just felt like overall Rocker's performance was worse than Gustavo's.
And Rocker, don't take the you suck part to heart, because the Master says stupid stuff, and you did beat him in the playoffs, if I believe correctly, last season.
That wasn't my team.
Okay, let's get to number 12. I had Inaria and the Nightmare Nido Kings here, and the reason they're so low is he ended up getting 4-0'd.
Because you think I'm bad and I beat him?
He had high expectations going into this week. I think the majority of the league underestimated the Master, and they thought that Inaria would get a win or a very slim loss, and he kind of let a lot of people down, I guess, expectation-wise. I like his draft, and he's definitely a very good battler, so I don't think he's going to be sitting in this 12 spot for very long.
Yeah, and over here, I have Mr. Malone in the St. Louis Swablues at number 12. I felt like his battle against Hutch, even though it was very close and he actually had a chance of winning it at the end, I felt like his team was actually really, really good against Hutch's, and if he were to grab a win there, it would have been really key for him, but he had the matchup and he just couldn't pull out the win. And also, Malone hasn't been doing amazing recently, so I kind of ranked him a little lower than he probably should be because of his recent losingness.
Number 11, this is one of the harder spots to pick because Laurie is definitely not the 11th best battler in this league. Really unfortunate in week 1. Seed Flare really gave Keister an easy win off after I think 3 misses in a row off an 85% accurate move. And that ultimately led to Laurie getting 6-0'd. And Laurie's got a really good team. I like the Sand with Mega Glade. And as you saw in the offseason, Laurie put in some work. I definitely think Laurie's going to be a very high riser this next week. And ultimately the highest riser.
Well, I put at 11 Inaria in the Nightmare Nido Kings because I felt like I put him lower because I felt like the win wasn't that hard because Inaria was bringing a lot of meme sets and rushed the battle, kind of. That's what I felt like. But we all know Inaria can beat 81 in the league if he tries really hard, so we'll see what happens with him.
So now we go to the kind of the middle part of the rankings. Okay, no one saw that.
No one saw that.
We go to the middle part of the rankings.
I dropped my phone on the computer by accident.
So number 10, I ended up putting Static in the spot. Static is not going to be a 10 next week. I can almost guarantee that. He's a great battler. Static, just he can tell you himself, he didn't play very well. He's frustrated with the way he played his Cloister, and he did have a tough matchup playing TG, but at the same time, Static, I bet, will be the first to tell you he's really disappointed with his performance, and I expect him to put a solid win up on the board this next week.
So at number 10, I put the Netherlandians. Because, I put Laurie slightly higher, even though getting 6-0'd, because I feel like Keister probably has one of the best teams, maybe behind Ian's. And also, Laurie was just super unlucky in that battle, so I couldn't penalize her too much for that.
Number 9, this is our biggest difference in the rankings. I believe so, right?
Yeah, I put, Malone.
A 12, I believe.
12,
so I had Malone at 9, and the reason for this is he played very well against Hutch. If you would have, I think it was Scarf Kyurem. If he would have had Scarf Kyurem, he ended up winning that game. Or if he would have invested his bulk a little bit differently. But he's a really, really powerful team. The only thing I don't like about his team personally is his first 3 picks were all Fairy Week, and then he ended up patching that up with, I think, back to 3 straight Mons that are all Ground Week, if I'm not mistaken. So he has lots of power in his draft and a really threatening team, and he put a good showing up against Hutch. So I think Malone surprised a lot of people with this week 1 matchup, and that's why I ultimately put him in the 9 spot.
Yeah, and I put Static here because he's just a solid battler. He obviously had a very poor showing in week 1, but I feel like he still deserves the 9 spot because he'll easily rise out of it, and he's a good battler, so I couldn't put him too low because I respect Static's battling a lot, and his prep is top notch.
He does have some phenomenal prep, and Minior is pretty good mod he likes to use.
Rip. Okay.
Inside joke. Okay, number 8. This is, I think one of our only times we agreed. We both
we agreed in 7. So.
Really? Oh yeah. Well, I said one of the only ones. So we had Ghost here, and the reason for this is the reason why Ghost is the highest in this rank despite losing is he played
because
Ian.
He's the best loser.
He played Ian, and Ian's team is probably the most complete team in this entire draft. He patched up all his weaknesses. He has every single type. He built a great core. Ian's team is phenomenal, and Ian is one of, if not the best battler in this league. So him with a threatening team scares a lot of people. Ghost ended up facing Ian, and got 4-0'd, I believe. But he did get frozen on his Jirachi, and I think he played Ian pretty well. I definitely think he's gonna have a bounce back showing this next week. I believe he plays Keister, in what should be one of if not the matches of the week. And I really like Ghost's team a lot, and he's a great battler.
Yeah, I agree. I put Ghost at number 8 because I like Ghost, so I had to make him the best loser. No, I'm just kidding. That's not why. I put him there because I feel like Ian's probably number 1 or number 2 battler in the league right now, and his team is super threatening and really good, so had to put him really high for a loser because Ian's just so good right now.
Number 7, here I am ranked. We both agreed that I'm in the 7th spot.
Because you're the worst loser.
I'm the worst winner, yes.
Yeah, worst winner.
According to the rankings, I'm the worst winner.
I mean, you did beat the worst loser.
Yeah. So the reason I put myself in the 7th spot is I did indeed beat the person we have lowest at our rankings. And I won 4-0, but if I would have played differently, it probably could have been a 5-0.
Or 6-0.
Or I don't think it was 6-0.
Yeah, probably. But there's potential.
And there was a questionable play, and people have questioned. I stayed in on a Scarm on a T-bolt from a Manectric.
And Scarm died. In case you didn't know.
My reasoning for that was I was scared of a sub or an overheat if I went into Celebi.
This is power rankings, not justifiability.
Well, anyways, yeah, Diancie put in some work. It's the leader of the league in kills right now. And I think I did a good job with that, but I can't justify myself going any higher than this because I did beat Gustavo, who's lowest on the rankings right now.
Yeah, and I put the Utah Hoots down here because he didn't have to do anything to win. He just had Mega Diancie, and Gustavo didn't prep for it well enough, and he could just sweep easily with it from the beginning of the battle.
Besides Melodic, once I got out of the way.
Once Melodic was gone.
So here we start going to the upper echelon of the rankings, I guess we could say. And here's the rest of the winners from now on.
Yeah. So at number 6, Susie has the Portland Timbers. Let's hear about that.
So I put Hutch here. He played a good battle, and Hutch is a very good battler. But at the same time, the people in front of him, I believe, just played better than him in a lot of ways. Hutch, I think, it was a 1-0 or 2-0.
2-0, I think.
Yeah, I think it was 1 or 2-0. And everyone in front of him, they just played more dominant, I believe. So I think Hutch, he played a solid game, and I think he'll definitely be in the upper echelon of the rankings again next week. He has a battle against Laurie, I believe, which would be a very good battle. And yeah, I got Hutch at 6.
Yeah, I have Brad in the Contract Killers at 6. For kind of the same reasons I have you at 7. First of all, he beat Rocker, who is low in our rankings, 13th and 14th. And also, as you said earlier, Rocker didn't finish prepping or whatever happened. So I felt like Brad had a pretty easy win there. And that's why I put him at 6, even though he got the 6-0 win. I just wasn't impressed by it because of how Rocker battled.
So as you can see, we don't agree with anyone from 6 through 3 right here.
Did that on purpose because I don't like you, so I don't want to agree with you.
So at number 5, I put Demaster in the Denver Numals. He played phenomenal, 4-0 against a really good battler in Inaria. I just still don't like the Tier B draft very well. And I just think that the battlers in front of him have been more proven in this league, so I didn't want to put him any higher than 5.
At 5, I put the Portland Timbers and Hutch the Babe. I put him at 5 mainly because he had a pretty poor showing, but he couldn't do much because his team had a terrible matchup, and I mean, overall, Hutch did finish out the battle pretty solid, so I put him at 5.
Number 4, this is where I put Brad in the Contract Killers. I think Brad's going to be a very scary team this year, despite not having, I guess, the most threatening draft. And the reason for this is Brad's built a team that shouldn't win. So Brad can kind of mess around, and he's going to, I feel like, prep very hard a lot of these games.
Meme you to death?
Yes, and a lot of these battles. I think people might underestimate his team a lot, and I think he's going to have a lot of fun with his sets this year. And I expect Brad to still be in contention for the title this year, despite having a very underwhelming draft.
Yeah, at 4, I put TG1 and the BC Barrels. Barrels.
Good pronunciation.
The Barrels. Yeah. Okay, so I put TG1 here. The great one, because overall he's just a really amazing battler. And he had a pretty solid week. And he is like, I picked him as my winner of the league after the draft. We decided, me and Susie said who we thought would win, and I picked TG to win it all. And yeah, let's move on to number 3, where you put TG.
Yeah, I put
little
TG
higher than
here.
me, because I'm cocky.
Reason for that is TG's very well proven in this league. He beat Static. Static is very well proven in this league.
Static is very solid. Playoffs last
And
year.
I think TG's team is really solid. And I didn't expect him to 4-0 Static, so coming out that performance kind of surprised me. So that's why I put him at 3. I think he's really gonna play well with his team.
Well, I put myself at 3 because I felt like giving myself confidence would help me beat Ian by not ranking me like 4 spots lower than him, because Ian is really good and I need confidence to beat Ian. And his team outmatches mine, so really, I honestly am not number 3, but I just put myself there for fun.
Before we go to the top 2 picks, it's kind of interesting. Those were both, the top 2 picks are both the top drafts we rated, and they both stayed the same.
Yep, okay, let's move on to the top 2.
Yet again, we do not agree.
It's because I don't like you, I already told you this.
So at number 2, I had Keister and the Phoenix Flygons. In my draft rankings, I originally had him number 1.
Don't you like the imperfections on the logo? It just makes the team better overall.
Exactly. It shows that... Okay, I don't have a good thing to say about
It shows that even if he has an imperfect prep, he can still win.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, Keister's team is an absolute pain to prep for.
I mean, his tier B is not that great.
His tier B is not very good, but his
tier A is just, how do you prep for that?
He's got Celesteela with Venusaur, which are both
Mega
mons.
Venusaur.
Mega Venusaur, which are both mons you have to over prep for to kill. And he had a really good showing against Laurie. He's 6-0'd Laurie. And I wonder how closer it would have been if the Seed Flares didn't miss, but Keister still had control over the majority of that battle. And 6-0ing any player, even with a lot of hacks, especially someone as good as Laurie, is very impressive. But I just couldn't justify putting him at 1 since we weren't able to see most of his sets.
True. But he didn't have to bring out the sets, which is kind of impressive. But it was for hacks, kind of.
Yeah.
So at number 2, I put Ian in the Arcane Arcaneiners. Mainly because he had a very solid week 1. And his team is just amazing, and I respect him as a battler. So, yeah, that's why I put him at number 2. Now, for the number 1 in Susie's predictions is...
I picked a babe in Ian. Ian is an absolute smoke show.
Dude, I found his Instagram, and I liked every picture on it.
Ian's a smoke show, and his team is maybe even hotter than him. His team is straight flames.
No. His team's not hotter than him.
It's close.
Arcanine might be hotter than him.
So Ian's team is straight flames.
His logo is straight flames.
That as well. I believe Rocker made it.
Oh, never mind. It's not straight flames.
But,
it's a terrible
Ian,
logo.
He beat a really good battler in Ghost. I believe it was 4-0. And Ian's team, I believe, out of the 4 or 5 of us that ranked it, half of us picked Ian, half of us picked Keister as the best drafts. And Ian's a great battler. He really showed that he drafted a really good team for him to battle with. And I definitely think he's going to sit atop this rankings for a few more weeks.
Actually, you'd be wrong because I'm going to beat him week 2, therefore not staying in the top of the rankings. Okay, so I put Keister in the Phoenix Flygons at number 1, mainly because I'm scared of his team. Actually, I'm terrified of his team. And he's 6-0'd one of the best battlers in the league, which is impressive. And he brought solid sets from what I saw, which is pretty much none of his sets.
How's Manaphy? Manaphy set was phenomenal, Keister.
The Manaphy set was solid. I mean, it's pretty basic, but still a good set.
So that's our week 1 rankings. Hope you guys enjoyed.
And go follow Susie on Twitter.
I don't have a Twitter, but thank you for the shout out. Go follow Ghost on Twitter and everyone.
Yeah, he likes DiGiorno on Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay, see you guys later.